Hello, my fellow Avengers, it's your boy, the Marvel Nerd 2016, and with the re-release of Revenge of the Sith, I've really been thinking to myself about why I think it's best, or not even best, but better, to re-release movies in cinemas instead of wasting billions of dollars just remaking an already fine movie into something trashy and soulless. And
I'm looking at you, Snow White.
so, yeah, let's dive into it. But first of all, I'm not saying that there shouldn't be any remakes at all. Like, look, if we're talking movies that should be remade, then, for example, take a look at Dune, right? The David Lynch Dune. Now, I haven't seen the David Lynch Dune, but doesn't really look that good. And I have heard that it's not even that faithful to the books. But when you remake that movie and introduce like a story like Dune to a much more broader audience with, you know, a better story, then, or not even a better story, but just a fateful story, I guess. Then that works. But as long as the story is maintained and there's good characters involved, so yeah. But with movies like Snow White, like for example, the animated one is okay. I understand the whole controversy and the whole prince being saved by a princess being saved by a prince trope and everything, but it's still a fine movie. And I don't think that there was any point of remaking it. And why do you think Snow White flopped in the box office? Right? Because it's soulless. It's soulless. But if they would have re-shown the movie, right? A lot of families would have went out and go see the OG Snow White if it was re-released. And same thing with How to Train Your Dragon, bruh. I remember last night when I went to go watch Thunderbolts and they played a trailer for the new How to Train Your Dragon movie. At the back of my mind, I just kept on thinking, why are we remaking How to Train Your Dragon? Okay, now I know that the movie isn't out and it's coming out next month, but I don't see the point of an already good movie, especially the animation. If you look back at How to Train Your Dragon, the animation is still good. That I thought to myself, I feel like it would have been better if they re-release How to Train Your Dragon in cinemas. Like that would have been a lot cooler. Just experiencing the original movie, the way it's the way the way it the way it's meant to be interpreted in cinemas. Now, I know what you guys are probably gonna say. The Marvel nerd. We already have Netflix and Disney Plus and and we could already watch the original movies on there. And I understand that. Plus, the unfortunate thing is that cinemas are quite expensive, especially the prices on popcorn. Oh, Jesus. But what my main point is that instead of remaking a classic movie and just downgrading it or making it worse, or making a sequel to a movie that came out I don't know, 30 to 40 years ago, and just making a continuation of it, but except you're killing off like the OG characters, and just downgrading it, making it soulless, just taking away all that sauce on what made the original good. And I'm looking at you, Star Wars.
That is one big pile of shit.
Because, for example, Return of the Jedi already had a good ending, but the sequel trilogy did kind of mess it up. Because George Lucas didn't work on any of those movies, and mainly Kennedy did. There was no plan, there was no structure, and overall it was a complete mess. But then there are the good examples of a legacy sequel, like Top Gun, right? Where sure, it's not directed by the same person because unfortunately the original director of Top Gun did pass away. But you get someone like Joseph Kosinski, who is optimistic about Top Gun and making a good continuation of the original a movie, but at the same time keeping respect to the original characters while at the same time introducing new characters. That's good because then not only we get a good continuation of the original story, but at the same time we get sprinkled in with new characters as well, and at the same time they're not treated badly compared to the sequel trilogy for Star Wars and of course Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. But like I said earlier, if you want to reintroduce or okay, not reintroduce, but if you want to show classic movies for future generations, like for example, for kids who are growing up in Gen Alpha, they probably haven't seen, I don't know, Back to the Future yet. Re-show that in cinemas. Like have our future generations witnessing how those classic movies are meant to be seen in the cinema. Because, for example, I remember when they re-showed the Spider-Man movies, experiencing Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man in cinemas. Not only it felt good, but at the same time, I had a good feeling knowing that I've watched a childhood movie in cinemas in the best way possible. I'm not trying to say that they should only re-show movies and not make any more originals. But what they could do is remarket the classic movies, right? Or just give them like a new poster, new merchandise as well, like what they did with Revenge of the Sith. And Interstellar as well last year, and Terminator, which I didn't watch beforehand, but I did witness that and Terminator 2 in cinemas. Amazing experience. And I feel like it's best to re-show the classic movies and then gain the money from those classic movies being re-shown in cinemas, and then use that money not to make something crap, or something which has already been done multiple times, but instead make something original. Because the saddest part is that modern day movies, okay, sure, movies like Sinners, which is doing buckloads of money at the box office at the moment, and I'm feeling really happy that it has gotten the good marketing and attention which it deserves, because it's a really good movie, and I haven't reviewed it yet, but at some point I will. Okay, but back to the topic of this video. If they do this right, and if they have the right sense and the right brain of re-releasing the older movies and just remarketing it instead of spending billions of dollars just remaking something which is already good on its own, and just making it into a complete disaster, like the Snow White remake or the Crow, and just using that money to make original movies, then that way we can get more original ideas and just experience new worlds which we haven't been to. Because as someone who wants to become a director and who has a lot of new ideas and just mixes with movies which have come out in the past, but as inspiration, I really want there to be more original movies like Sinners. At the same time, I feel like it's also best to pay homage to the classics by re-showing those movies and remarket them, but at the same time also making something new instead of just farting out the same movie, or making a sequel to a movie that didn't even needed a sequel in the first place. Like, for example, we all know what we're talking about. But yeah, though, okay, I'm gonna wrap up the video because I've been yapping too long. But I think the overall point on what I'm making is just stop remaking them. Stop remaking movies that are already good on their own. Just re-show it to newer generations who want to watch those movies, but better yet, experience them the way it's meant to be seen. But yeah, though. But bottom line is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and follow my Instagram and my letterbox. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.